Right. Peace, 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 peace. What is the first thing that you received in knowledge yourself? The first thing they always tell you is they go right to Father Cipher, Cipher Divine. That's the first thing everybody would go at. And we would have to do a 3-day fast. You knew from the gate you had to do a 3-day fast, right? But 90 days prior to doing the 3-day fast, you were getting cleaned up. So, you wanted to clean up the physical composition. You went with raw fruit and vegetables. More green than anything else. So, you would increase your greens to 90%. Increase your greens at 90%. Decrease your fruit to about 10%. Using berries and bush. This is going to detoxify your physical composition. You improve your body fat loss, muscle mass weight, muscle mass increase, and visceral fat decreasing from around the physical composition in the organs. Overall, removing the toxins from the processed foods and genetically modified foods and seedless and crops that are cloned. So you want to remove all of those unnatural molecules out of your physical composition. Most of them will be lodged in the fat deposits in your physical composition, or they could attach themselves to your proteins. That makes it even harder. Those are the ones that are really hard to get off. They attach themselves to the fat, you just release the fat. When they attach themselves to the protein, you have to redo the whole structure. You need to go into autophagy to get rid of those. So some form of fast is how you kick it in. That's the remedy. What's the remedy, Divine? The remedy is 3-day fasting and 1-day fasting for at least the rest of your life. No, word. Just take that up. That's a knowledge of self diet and how they eat. And then within that basic structure of your I want to say the foundation to your exposure to dietary laws would be the 3-day fast, 3-day water fast, and then you would go into 1 meal a day. That's basic. In that, it can become intricate. But at the beginning, that's what you're looking at. Just saying to yourself, I want knowledge of self, and I'm going to that level. So the first thing I'm going to do is clean up the physical composition, take the devil off my planet. It's symbolic, but it also is a reality at the cell level, right? Because the physical composition is a motor vehicle of light that we use to manifest in this physical plane of existence. Is still in the world of illusion when it's for time. So to beat the illusion, you have to do something that makes your physical body stand out among other physical bodies. And then they remember you for doing whatever it is you did that stood you out amongst the many. So back to the point is, if I'm trying to stop those type of people from manifesting themselves, I can do it in various ways. And the 10% are masters at it by now. So they have all kind of ways, and you can't figure out all the ways that they're coming at you. But 120 already figured it out for you and gave you the blueprint. This is what it is. People say, oh, I don't know if that Yaku story is the truth or it's not the truth. But we do know it counteracts the programming that the European puts on you as he's the colonizer and you're the colonized. It breaks that. 120 breaks it. So who cares if you can find a mummy that's 8,400 years old? So what if you, even if you didn't find it? Doesn't mean it didn't exist. And that's not true, because when you look at from the back and come to the front, which is nowadays, and we look at reality of what's going on, you're telling me that the second degree is not true in the 1 to 10? That's what you're saying? Because if you look at the second degree in the 1 to 10, that tells you straight from the gate that the colonizer has colonized you. And he colonized you physically and mentally. Your whole concepts come from the colonizer until you get knowledge yourself and break loose. You're in the matrix. You're plugged in. He makes you think the way you think. You don't have anything to go against it. You're plugged in. This part of your culture. It's in your food, your clothing. Everything that you do is part of that. And it keeps that manifestation manifesting itself. You see, he knows when there's a threat to his manifestation of longevity, because then he attacks it. He won't let you. He'll let you go within his cipher if you're doing it. But overall, for original people who have knowledge of self, certain things they're not going to do. And so the people who embellish their riches from that particular exploitation won't be able to make any Federal Reserve notes or have certain control over people if they're not doing that. Right? And knowledge of self makes you do other things other than what 85% do. The unconscious do what they do, and knowledge of self does what they do. But knowledge of self is what wakes up the people and brings them and galvanizes them. And unconscious awareness is what keeps the people separated. I'm a separate person, I'm an individual, I'm this, I'm that. Yeah, you that, but you ain't only that. Stars are by themselves, but they're not by themselves. They're with other stars. They're connected, physically as well as mentally. So you disconnect the stars from each other by teaching them propaganda. European does that. Or you pass on the Europeans' propaganda because you believe it to be the truth, and so now he doesn't really have to do anything. Once the foundation is laid and that's how you see it, you propagate that to your children, and they propagate it to their children, and it just keeps perpetuating itself till finally everybody's unconscious. It is what it is. And it's not like you have to leave 120. You don't. 120 is telling you to do a whole lot of things. You're just not doing it. Either because you don't know it's saying that, or you know you just choose not to do it. That's what makes it so unique, is that you have choice. You don't have to do it. But it's nice to be exposed and know that, well, this is why I have a dietary law. Where did the dietary law come from? Right? I mean, there's various sources you can look at. First place I always go in the 120. And then from there I branch into those plus degrees like Problem Book, How to Eat to Live, Book 1 and Book 2. So I'll go into Problem Book, definitely tells you how to get rid of and why, and the whole understanding behind hypertension and diabetes that attacks it immediately.